Yo, what's going on guys, it's Crazy Oz here, and today I'll be featuring a deck which is just OP. I usually don't like calling a deck OP, which I used to a lot in my previous videos, but this battle deck is indeed overpowered. What's better is that this deck has no legendaries, but I would suggest using Log instead of Zap and Electro Wizard instead of Musketeer. This deck got me to 4000 trophies from 3300 trophies, and I only lost 3 times. I will show gameplays of both the variations of this deck. The first variation is with no legendaries. If you have both the Log and the Electro Wizard, then use the Electro Wizard and Log instead because they are better. Make sure to watch the video till the end since I give many tips on how to use this deck. Anyways, let's get a replay playing and explain how to use both the variations of this deck. This deck is primarily a spell bait deck. In this deck, you play in such a way that you bait the killer spell of your opponent, mostly with the Goblin Barrel. And once you've baited the spell, you can push with the Hog and the Goblin Gang looking at the situation. So in the replay showing in the background, you can see that I keep throwing a barrel to bait out the opponent's spell, and then I try to push with the Hog Rider and the Goblin Gang. You can also do the reverse by placing Goblin Gang to bait out the spell and then push with the Hog and the barrel. With the variation of the Musketeer, you have to play a bit more defensive and always think you're playing an opponent who uses Lava Loon or some other heavy air deck, and play the Musketeer or the Electro Wizard conservatively, since you may lose if you use your Musketeer and your opponent sends in a balloon or some other heavy air troop, since you may lose because this deck doesn't have any other heavy air hitter. But you can also use the Inferno Tower, but to be on the safer side, use the Musketeer or the Electro Wizard a bit more defensive. Now let's get to the other cards and how to play it. First, let's talk about the Goblin Gang and the Skeleton Army. These two cards are one of the most vital cards in this deck. These are cards you use for 2 reasons. The first reason is to bait out the spell, and the second reason is for a solid defense. Due to the rise of elite pubs supported with either a Log or Zap or Fireball, or a splash unit supporting the elite pubs, Goblin Gang and Skeleton Army are highly effective against elite pubs. So how you counter them is by first dropping off the Goblin Gang and wait for them to either Zap, Log or Fireball the Goblin Gang. And once they take your gang out, drop off your Skeleton Army to finish them off. This method of taking out cancer bugs is highly effective and is the most reliable way. Now let's talk about how to use the Inferno Tower. When defending either a giant beatdown deck or a hog deck, or for that matter any tank deck, your Inferno is always useful. Always try to distract the supporting cards of the tank, since supporting cards like glass troops do a lot of damage, and if your opponent zaps your Inferno Tower, then your Inferno Tower will die out, the tank will survive, and you most probably will lose the tower. So always try and finish the supporting troops when using your Inferno to defend. Now let's talk about the barrel. When playing a game at the start, if you have a barrel in your starting hand, then always throw out a barrel to the center of the tower to see what's their spell. If it's a Log, then move the barrel 2 tiles to the left or right the next play. Not more than that, because 2 tiles difference is not seen so easily, and the probability of your opponent missing the Log on the barrel is high. If your opponent uses Zap, then there are 2 cases. The first case, if their Zap can completely kill your barrel. If your opponent's Zap completely kills your goblins, then you have to switch up the placement of the barrel by 2 tiles again, from the center of the tower. Since Zap doesn't have such a large hit radius, and 2 tiles difference goes unnoticed most of the times. But if your opponent's Zap doesn't kill your goblins, which happens mostly in challenges, then throw it to the center of the tower no matter what. Finally, let's talk about the 2 spells in this deck. The Fireball. The Fireball is a high damage spell which you use to take out pumps if your opponent has a pump, and to take out massive amount of clump troops. And the Log is used to take out small troops like goblins, fire spirits, ice spirits and more. Now let's pop open a legendary chest and a draft chest. have come to the end of the video now. Hopefully you have learned how to use this deck and use it to your advantage on ladder or in challenges. Also, if the deck worked for you or you think this video was good, and make sure to smash that like button, which will be highly appreciated, and make sure to subscribe if you're new. So thank you for watching. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Until then, peace out.